Brendan Shanahan gets another crack at the Shanaplan as we look back at the career of Ron Ellis. Hey everyone, welcome to Inside the Leafs. Rob Wong joined alongside by Toronto Sun Maple Leafs writers Lance Hornby and Terry Koshan. And guys, I don't think we were all too surprised with what was said at Friday's news conference held by the Maple Leafs as MLSE CEO Keith Pelly, President Brendan Shanahan, and GM Brad Treliving all took turns speaking about the future of the club. Terry, they all talked a big game, but after being there and hearing it all, what is your level of confidence that they can actually make significant changes?
Well, it's not high. I mean, you're talking about people who have no move clauses. And so we're to boil that down to Mitch Marner. If Mitch Marner doesn't want to go anywhere, he doesn't want to go anywhere. If he does say, okay, well, here are 5 teams I will go to, then those 5 teams come back to the Leafs say, that's fine, here's what we're willing to give up. So the Leafs are on the driver's seat by any stretch of the imagination here. That's even if they get to this point. You know, if you're the new coach coming in, whether you're Craig Berube or Todd McClellan or whoever it's going to be, you know, does that person not look at Brad Treliving and go, hey, I'd like a shot with Mitch Marner. He's one of the best right wingers on the planet. Yeah, I'd love to give it a go with him. So I think that the new head coach would probably have some sort of say in that, but I guess we'll have to see. But as far as the big changes go, I'm not holding my breath just because of these no move clauses. And as far as, you know, John Tavares, he's got 1 year to go. I'm not sure why you bother there, but maybe they'll investigate that, whether he had any interest. He indicated to us he would not. But yeah, they're facing an uphill climb here no matter what they decide to do, I think.
I want to start off by apologizing for being the guy who came up with the nickname the Shanaplan, because it's really not. It was catchy at the time, and everybody had such great great hopes for it. But certainly as time went on, it was there were flaws in it. There's been the kids, they're not kids anymore, they're adults, and they've certainly failed to produce when it counts at playoff time. There's been a number of variations behind the bench and with the top six and the bottom six and the defense. So really, you're looking now at a cup window that's shrunk even more, if not being on the verge of something we're building here. But what based on some of the things that Terry is saying, I mean, what are you going to do? You have a decision to bring back either Bertuzzi or Domi or both. You have to remake the defense. You have 4 UFAs there. They have no goaltenders beyond Joseph Wall at this point, and the only hope, I guess, for a big change that you think is going to happen next year would be Easton Cowan or Fraser Minton fulfilling their great potential, joining the team. But again, where might they fit in, especially if there's no change with Tavares and Marner? They're pretty good players, but you have to find a home for them somewhere, presumably in the bottom six. So it's going to be a very interesting summer. I don't think there was a lot of confidence that came out of that meeting. To come back to your first point, Rob.
Yeah, I will say this: it's all about Marner. Everything else is details. They'll figure those things out. The Marner question is the biggest in the offseason by far, whether they can move him or not.
Yeah, it does seem like the biggest domino for the Maple Leafs for sure. Meanwhile, Ron Ellis, who spent his entire 1,034-game NHL career with the Maple Leafs, has passed away at the age of 79. Lance, what can you say about one of the last Leafs to actually hoist the Stanley Cup in Toronto?
Well, you know what? He was somewhat of a friend of mine, based on covering him. In his post career with the Hockey Hall of Fame, he helped me write a couple of books, and everything everybody has said about this man is absolutely true. He was loved by the staff at the Hall. There's not a person to say a bad word about him. He played, as you say, 1,000 games with the Leafs, and as a friend of mine said, he's the last of a bygone era of a player who didn't want to move. He was a Leaf through and through. Signed his C card with him. Never wanted to move on. He was able to live through the Harold Ballard years and not say. I'm sure he was tempted to say some things as the as the Ballard years went on, as all these subsequent other attempts to fix the Leafs have gone on, and he maintained a great decorum, and obviously for my era, a big part of the 72 series, beating the Russians on the line with Henderson and Bobby Clark. Guys like that will be missed. There's a dwindling number of players from the 67 Cup team, and here's a guy who really embodied being a Maple Leaf and being part of that team. So, rest in peace, and condolences to his family.
Yeah, I'd add to that, like, I caught him more toward the end of his career as a little kid, and probably had a few interactions with him honestly, at Ron Ellis Sports in Brampton, the sports store that he owned for a few years there, selling sporting goods. He had the big sign out just right in the downtown area there. Brampton was in there a few times way back when. But yeah, like Lance says, one of the few links to that past now that that is just gone, and that's the unfortunate part of time, right? It moves on, and these people are lost. But certainly, the respect for Ron Ellis across Leafs Nation, I think, is high, and deservedly so. He was a really good ambassador for the team well after he played too.
Yeah, well said by both of you guys. As always, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. For Lance Hornby and Terry Koshan, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.